Hi, today I'm going to show you how to make apple fritters. Really favorite classic recipe, but this time we're not playing fair. We're adding a new ingredient that will enhance its deliciousness, its flavor, and leave you wanting more. Let's get started. So I'll take you through the ingredients. I've got some Granny Smith apples, which I peeled, cored, and chopped into small pieces and tossed in some lemon juice. I'm adding some cinnamon, quite a bit of cinnamon, and a couple of tablespoons of sugar. And I'm just going to toss that together and let that sit while we attend our other ingredients. And as always, in the description box, you'll find a link to the full list of ingredients and recipe. We're going to deep fry today, so our oil is heating up and it needs to come to a temperature of 375 Fahrenheit, 190 Celsius. And we've got a ways to go. It's just at 275. So I'll set that aside and focus on our dry ingredients. So we have flour, sugar, baking powder, a good pinch of salt, about half a teaspoon actually of salt I'm going to need. And to that, I'm going to zest in a lemon, well, the zest of an entire lemon. I'm going to add to our dry ingredients. Get that zested in. And really, zesting in a lemon, lime, any sort of citrus peel, orange, into the flour really lifts it. It elevates the flavors and it gives you something a little special, and I think you should always experiment a bit with these things. You can ruin a classic, but hopefully, I think lemon and apples go well together. So there we have the zest of a whole lemon. Put that over here. So all of that zest. And now the ingredient that doesn't play fair, tarragon. We have chopped tarragon. And we're going to add that to our dry mix as well. And that gives a nice aniseed, licorice flavor, which I think actually complements apples well. So I'm just going to quickly whisk that together. And then we'll turn to our wet ingredients. That's that simple, really. We've got 3 whole eggs, vanilla extract, and whole milk. Now you can use less milk if you like. That's about 3/4 of the cup, but we want a fairly workable batter. You don't want it thin. So it needs to cling with the apples. So I'm just going to whisk all of this together now. So we want to get that till it's well combined. And then we're going to add it to our dry ingredients. Okay, we now want to just whisk together our wet and dry ingredients. Get a bit more space here. So we'll get that together here. Just get the batter combined, and then we'll fold in our apples. So you can see it's a fairly thick, heavy batter. And if you want to thin that out by adding a bit more milk, you can. But I think that is the right consistency because we're going to drop that into our fat. I'll just check its temperature. And that is a bit higher than we want. It's at 385. So we'll just bring that right down. So next, all we're going to do is fold in our fruits. And we did dice these apples fairly small. I'm just going to fold this in. Okay, I think that's folded as much as we need it to. Check our oil temperature. It's too hot. So while the oil is coming down in temperature, I'm going to clear a little space. Now let's just check our temperature. That is that's a little over 190, but it's right at 385. So I think that's good because we know when we drop in our batter, that temperature will fall. So I'm just going to start with our first fritter. We want to put a big ladle into that and let that come together. And I've got my spider. I'm just going to keep checking that temperature. And that has dropped down to 375, which is where we want it to be. So I'll see I get another one in there next to it. Without dropping the temperature too much. Yeah, 372. So that's pretty good. So we want those to just cook in the fat. We keep them separate from each other. One side gets brown, takes about 3 or 4 minutes, and then we'll flip it to the other side. Just checking those. And they're looking pretty good. You just need to get these a little more brown. And then we will bring them over to our tray, which is a wire rack on top of a sheet tray that's lined with some paper toweling, some kitchen towel. And I have some icing for it, which is confectioner's sugar, powdered sugar, icing sugar, vanilla, and milk. And we can drizzle that on, or we can actually dunk those right into it. So I tell you, they're smelling wonderful. Check the oil temperature, make sure we're not getting too hot. No, it's actually a little low. We'll take that. It's at 365 for 180. You want it at 190. I think we're probably at a good point to take out some of our fritter. I'm just going to remove some of the scraps so that those don't burn and add a bitter taste to our fritters, because it will definitely flavor the oil. That one looks ready to come out. So the great thing about having a spider like this is the way it drains. Allows the fat to go back into your pot. And there's the next one. And we'll add 2 more. And while these cook, we'll look at what we can do to ice the ones that we have ready. I can take a spoon and just drizzle it over. I like a lot of icing on a fritter, and you want to do this while it is warm. The other option is to actually dip it in, and I need a pair of tongs to do. And magically, I have tongs. So I will take this one. I'm very careful. Just put in one side, and we'll let the excess drain. And then we'll put it on our rack. So those are the two options you have. Well, I'll get the rest of these fried up. Okay, the last of our fritters are ready to come out to our wire rack. I had to get a second wire rack because these are beautiful. So we have really beautiful color on these. And they're gonna be just delicious. I know they're gonna be delicious. While those last few are finishing, I'm gonna add a little more icing on our fritters. That had too much. That is good. Okay. That's our last big fritter, and I've got a few small pieces that have come off, which are going to be treats for the chef. So again, we will just ice these while they're warm and allow them to cool, and then we'll plate them up. Our fritters have cooled, and I've plated up just a few, and I've got to say they look absolutely fantastic. And just the glaze is beautiful as well. The aroma that's coming off of these just absolutely delightful. All right, can't wait any longer. Let's taste it. I am going to take a small piece. Light cinnamon, delicious fruit. You get the apple, just a hint of the tarragon. I mean, that is great. Oh, and the texture of the dough that wraps those apples. Beautiful. You certainly don't fight fair, because you want more. Well, thank you for joining me today at Gary's Urban Larder. If you enjoyed today's recipe, please give us a thumbs up. Remember to subscribe to the channel, it's free, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss a single delicious recipe. Finally, please share this video with your friends and help build our community. And if you see a hype button, please hype me. I really appreciate it. Until next time, bye-bye. I'm gonna have to find someone to feed these to. It's not fair.